doing, Paul? No, well, I was working from home. Then I'd underestimated how long a task would take. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate, but it is. I like looking at this stage of the war. Firstly, 7:15, no chance. More like 7:20, 22. So good sound check. Okay. So I'll just do my normal volume with room to grow up. But testing, 1, 2. Welcome to NPL Men's New South Wales action. Sorry, hang on. Welcome to NPL Men's New South Wales action. This round 8 catch-up game in the south of Sydney. It's Sydney FC versus Penshurst Park on a Wednesday night. Blah 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 blah. Thanks for the lineup. I got it myself in the end, but cheers, mate.
My fucking thing's been terrible here.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Football New South Wales coverage of the 2024 NPL Men's New South Wales competition. Thanks for joining us here at the live tab on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. It's midweek football around a catch-up game from Penshurst Park. We got some bonus football for you tonight. Thanks for tuning in. It's Sydney FC versus St George City. Eric Subihano here. I battled the peak hour traffic to get here. I got here just in time, and I'm getting ready for what should be another great game in this wonderful competition. Well, for Sydney FC, they're trying to get back to winning ways. Last time out, it was a 2-0 loss to Sydney United 58. And while for St George City, they're also trying to get back into the winner's circle after a 2-0 defeat to newly promoted Hills United. So while we see the two pre-match formalities, let's take you through the two lineups. Firstly, for the nominal home team, Sydney FC, in goal, number 30, Mason Hartnigg, number 2, Noah Matthey, number 3, Tyler Williams, number 4, Joseph Kalisic, number 6, Dylan Rose, number 8, Lachlan Middleton, number 10, Thiago Quintal, number 11, Marin France, number 14, Jared Middleton, number 17, Ayuk Mo, and number 22, Will Kennedy. Sydney FC, as always, coached by the super coach, Jimmy Van Buren. Now, for St George City, in goal, number 1, Jack Kenny. And number 3, Joshua Hong. Number 5, Fumoto Kamada. Number 6, their captain. Number 8, Dominic Cox. Number 11, Costa Petrados. Number 14, Carl Mitri. Number 19, Jesse Forty. Number 25, Brody Clarkson. Number 88, Mohamed Khamis. And number 99, Matthew Karamalevsky. There we go. It's usual colours for both. The sky blue for Sydney FC, hence the hashtag Sydney is sky blue. And for St George City, their red jerseys. They're in the red jerseys, the white shorts, and the red socks. So just about ready to get underway. By the way, might as well give a shout out to the third team, tonight's match officials. We love the match officials. Without them, we can't play any organised football whatsoever. So in the centre with the whistle is Adrian Arndt. The two assistants are Lance Greenshields and Aaron Block. And today's fourth official is Paul Merchika. Now, actually, we'll have a little bit of a delay because we're checking the goal to our right, just making sure that the net is attached as it should. So, yeah, we do want to get underway as quickly as possible, but I'll take this chance to go through the two benches. So firstly, for the Sky Blues, their backup keeper is Alexander Zavadinos. And the other options available to Jimmy Van Buren are Bailey Callahan, Jacob Brissett, Pearson Kasawaya, Nicholas Alfaro, and Munib Smajic. Oh, got caught out a bit. We're underway. So, these two teams, Sydney FC in 14th as we head into this one, and George City in 8th. But plenty of time. We're not even at the halfway point of this season. We do love the longer season, the 30-round season that having a 16 comp affords us. So plenty of time for both Sydney FC and St George City to climb the ladder before this season is over. By the way, the St George City bench, the backup keeper, I believe, is Joseph Knowles, and the other options, Cameron Fong, Nathan Roberts, Jason Romero, Presley Ortiz, and Lewis Curry. As it go direct, I believe that's Hartnigg. There's an early confident shout. You love seeing that, especially from the keeper. And maybe that confidence, the early confidence shown from Mason Hartnigg, will help settle the back line. Of course, as I said in the intro, Sydney FC, the nominal home team. Of course, Penshurst Park, usually St George City's home ground, which they have been using, I believe, since the start of the 2022 season, back when they were in League One Men's. But, of course, Sydney FC rescheduling this after they had their youngsters overseas in Europe participating in an international tournament against actually some of the biggest names in world football. So, well done to everyone at St George City for being so accommodating as Sydney FC tried to reschedule this one. And, of course, as the flag's up from Aaron Block, who is AR2 for this one. Aaron Block nearest to us, and Lance Greenshields will be on the far side, closest to the benches. Of course, we do hope wherever you're watching that you're warmer and drier than myself, today's camera operator Paul, and today's Football New South Wales reporter Justin Davies, because it's a very interesting drive, that's to say the least. Well, it's an interesting drive for me. Thoughts and prayers to Justin Davies, who got hit by public transport, and thoughts and praise to him when he goes home. Now, there's the cross coming in. It's over an option in the middle, and there's an early shout. but more from the stands than anyone on the field, and we'll crack on. So that was actually a wonderful cross in from Fumoto Kamada. We've seen him a lot in this league in recent years, firstly with Mount Druitt Town Rangers, I believe, then with Sutherland Sharks. Now he's swapped those two for red and white. And let me tell you, Fumoto Kamada, if you haven't seen him before, very, very fast, especially over the first 5 meters. So that's going to be quite the test for the Sydney defender on that side, who appears to be Noah Matthew. A longer pass, of course, we'll try our best to call things as they happen on the far side of the field as we look at things. But I do have my binoculars, but they're only really useful when things are stationary, so they do have limited usage, but I have them just in case. It'll be useful, I think, for subs as they happen later on in the game, especially in the second half. Here's Brody Clarkson. Sydney trying to earn their first win since round 5 when they defeated Central Coast Mariners 4-1 at Millenden Sports Centre in the Battle of A-League Academies. Hartning's off his line, and that's pretty simple for the Sydney shot stopper. And in fact, a point here tonight would be their first point since round 10 when they drew 0-0 with Sutherland, also, by the way, at Millenden Sports Centre. Actually, as I look at their results, it has occurred to me that 7 of the 8 points that Sydney FC have earned this campaign have been at their home ground for this season, Illington Sports Centre. The other point coming in an opening day 0-0 draw at the Arctic Circle against Spirit FC. Cross comes in, it might be over the keeper, but that's a decent flick away. I think that was Kamada trying the late run to the back stick. Now, Ayuk Mo. Here's another speedster, so we'll be blessed with at least one speedster on each side in the first half, nearest to us, for us to look at. As that's headed back, I think, by Mohamed Khoury. And keep it going to St. George City and Joshua Hong. Then Clarkson, now Kamada. Kamada, decent ball, but it runs just away from Costa Petrados. That's the header for Joshua Hong. He used to play for an A-League Academy, of course. You remember him at Central Coast Mariners. And in fact, that's the club that St. George City had their most recent win against. Round 11, a 2-0 win against the Mariners, and I believe it was here at Penshurst Park. Now, room to run for Dominic Cox, and he's a very good box-to-box midfielder, so Sydney would be well advised not to let him get that kind of room on a regular basis. But Cox, I've always liked watching him play. Both here and previously at Hakoah FC. And even if you test the memory banks, I do remember him playing for RPL Leichhardt as well. But he does provide a lot of energy. And Dominic Cox, very important to the way St. George City play, both supporting the attack and protecting the defence. Back, I think that's Khoury playing the ball forward now. First time ball, and it could be a chance on the edge of the box, and it's a goal! It's a goal! And St. George City have scored early, and they've scored through Paolo Mitri, who, after getting the deflection back to him, he knew exactly what to do, and he sent a left-footed strike right into the bottom corner. Mason Hartning had no chance, and it's the early goal for St. George City. 6 minutes played, Sydney FC 0, St. George City 1. That was sensational from Mitri, who used to wear the number 10 jersey, has made the switch to number 14. But you have to say that was a 10 out of 10 strike from Paolo Mitri. Keeper had no chance. No blame could be attached to Mason Hartning there. It always interests me why players change numbers. And the reasons behind that, my numbers can be a very personal thing. They're just like tattoos. And I suppose there's... it'd be interesting if I had the time to do a deep dive. If only I had the time to inquire. For example, Brody Clarkson, why do you have 25? I'm sure there's a fascinating story behind that. Anyway, here's Urchan. He was looking for a ball down the far side. Now Matthew Karamalevsky. And goes back to Jack Kenny. Now Kamada low into the box this time. It was a dangerous area, almost the nightmare area for defenders. Had defenders running back towards their own goal to try and clear it, but that's actually well done to that Sydney FC defender for indeed clearing it. That was some quick feet from Ayuk Mo as he ran across the field trying to find some space, and then it's played forward. Yeah, so for George City, of course, great start for the home side in everything except how it appears in the competition's website. And yes, if you think about looking at the bench, you got names like Jason Romero and Nathan Roberts potentially coming on later, so this will certainly be a stern test. Definitely defensively for the young Sky Blues this evening. They go Nathan Roberts, very tricky winger. And perhaps when Roberts comes on later, watch out for his favoured move, starting on the left and cutting inside, because Roberts does have a good long-range shot in him. And of course, we all know about Jason Romero, some A-League experience. He did leave this club to go to RPL Icon as well before coming back to St. George City. And so Jason Romero is certainly the kind of player that adds a lot of punch to the attack of any team he plays for. Anyway, that's enough about him. How about the players on the field? And there's the speed from Costa Petrados, and then actually he's looking to use it in an attacking sense, and then Costa Petrados quick enough to at least prevent the goal kick. So it's Noah Matthew who will take this throw in when Adrian Arndt is happy with the positioning. And there, decent distance there. Ayuk Mo, contested header. He's on the synthetic turf for now, but we'll go on. So I'll just keep one eye on Ayuk Mo. Yep, he's getting up, so that's good to see that Sydney's number 17 is okay. And of course, I mean, synthetic turf does have its detractors, but I think you really see the value of synthetic surfaces, especially on nights like this, because the ball is absolutely going to zip over that surface, and we're going to get it's going to be easier for teams to play their passing football. And of course, due to the demands placed on surfaces in this division, of course, there's not just senior men's competition, there's also boys youth league as well, and some venues have NPL women's and girls youth league and SAP. So these synthetic surfaces do provide a great deal of value to the Football New South Wales state comps. That's a nice switch for Kamada. And there's the 1-2, but that's read well by Sydney. These high balls, well, the player Tiago Quintal looks to be at the point of attack for Sydney FC. Very much a ball-to-feet player, and I think he's going to struggle, especially against that very tall St. George City backline. If the balls come to him in the air, it might be the challenge for Sydney FC tonight to see what kind of service they can provide to Quintal on the ground. Erchan playing it back to Karamalevsky. Another switch towards Kamada. That's right on the money. The touch just loose enough to let Matthew in for a half clearance. And back with Clarkson. Now Erchan, the St. George City skipper. Now there's the ball, and that's got way too much heat on it for any St. George City player to catch up to. I mean, to be fair, that ball pretty much the only thing that has any heat on it this evening. But I got one fan of my terrible jokes at least. Thanks, Justin. Now headed back. That one's headed back to Marston. Someone does have to help me. Yeah. Well, to be fair, I've helped you a lot over the years, so you'd better laugh at my jokes. Now, Mo chasing this one, and Joshua Hong. Yep. So another headed back pass, and into the gloves for Jack Kenny. And Karamalevsky now to Joshua Hong. Kamada dropping deeper, and that's kind of where Sydney would want him more, facing backwards, but easier said than done to have this man facing his own goal, given how quick he is and how well Kamada can escape from you. Kamada again, and he's closed down by, I believe that's one of the Middletons. Apologies, that was Lachlan Middleton. I'll try and figure out which one is which by the end of the game. One's wearing 8 and one's wearing number 14. That's the bit I remember. Now, we like to give shout-outs to listeners. We always love it when people let us know that they're supporting our coverage of NPL Men's New South Wales on Football New South Wales YouTube page. Shout out to Dave. He's a massive, massive Blacktown City fan. And he just said he loves midweek NPL. Yeah, so do I, Dave. So thanks for tuning in. Also, shout out to Lockie, a man that both Justin and I know very well. He's decided to tune in as well. Yes. Now, there's a ball, and Quintal might give Karamalevsky something to think about. And that's actually very good central defending, use of the body well from the number 99. Now Sydney trying to press high, and there's the foot in there. I think from Williams. Now Dominic Cox playing it out to the far side in front of the benches. St. George City, after that brief sky blue incursion, now very much setting the tone, as you'd suspect, from the way the scoreboard looks at the moment. It's actually, I mean, I tend to use this phrase scoreboard metaphorically, but you know, there actually is a very nice scoreboard here at Penshurst Park. And it's very helpful for the very brave spectators who have decided that the conditions aren't going to stop them from watching Wednesday night NPL. Well done to all of them. Hong ignores the one shout from the crowd, goes backwards. Now Karamalevsky, and this is Mohammed Karmas. Chan picks it up in midfield now. He's out wide. There we go. I think Sydney, well, they're kind of possibly forgoing any real, or if any a really aggressive attacking intent for now, as Kamada pinged for the foul there, but just there was actually a lot of numbers behind the ball, everyone behind the ball for Sydney in that last phase of play, as perhaps they're just trying to kind of slow down St. George City's momentum after that wonderful early strike from Paolo Mitri. If you just joined us, it was a Paolo Mitri strike, St. George City's number 14, from the edge of the box after 6 minutes. That's what separates the two sides. It's Sydney FC 0, St. George City 1. Am I really bigging up this goal? Because I know Paolo's dad, Michael, listens to the commentary. Who can say? But yeah, no, seriously, it was a very good goal. Now that, Sydney FC, well, they'd love a corner, at least to get everything kind of well away from their goal, but Adrian Arndt disagrees, and it is a goal kick. Now, there's a switch of play, and again, Hartnegg, who, I mean, there was nothing he could do about that wonderful Paolo Mitri goal, but it's actually, in the early stages, he's shown a good command of his area. And it does look like, especially on this slick synthetic surface, anything slightly overhit in terms of St. George City through balls, Hartnegg might be the favourite to deal with. Now, this could be a Sydney FC attack. And now they're looking for Ayuk Mo, who's moved more centrally. That's better play from Sydney. And they're quick enough to keep it alive around the St. George City box. And then that one is going to be a Sydney set piece. Now, a chance to see what both teams have worked on the training ground in terms of dead ball situations. Just briefly, might talk up some games coming up on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. I almost said NPL.tv, that's not a thing anymore, but Saturday 4th of May, I think 4:30 p.m. NPL Men's New South Wales, Sutherland Sharks versus Rockdale Illingdon from Seymour Shore, called by Pretty Boy himself, Alexander Molchanov. Don't worry, I've got more commentator shouts and nicknames for you. Don't you worry about that. But let's think about this set piece first. Left-footed delivery. It's high into the far post, very high, and it's over Ayuk Mo. Is he quick enough to keep it in? Yes, he does, but he undercooks the pass somewhat. And now, play down the near side, and Tyler Williams across, and Tyler Williams also the first player into the referee's notebook. So a yellow card in the 18th minute, Justin, for Tyler Williams. So I'm used to a lot of our Football New South Wales writers just to make it easier for themselves. And of course the streams allow this to happen. They do streams remotely. So I don't know. If you're familiar with my commentary, you will notice I do tend to say the minute a yellow card happens in. And that's why. Because it's part of the requirements for the Football New South Wales reports. We've got a great team of writers, especially Justin Davies, who is right next to me, so I'd better be nice to him. Well, I mean, I could be nice to him. I don't have to. But also Dominic Crenini, he's another great writer. So a shout out to Justin Smith, who has more patience than a lot of people, because he's heard every single terrible joke I have to say, and many other good writers besides. But yes, they have to note the yellow cards in the minute they're in, so that's why I'm very clear in saying them in comms. And Justin Davies is here tonight, but I've decided to just yell them in his face anyway. The rain's gotten heavier. I'm thankful for the roof on this stand here at Pence's Park. Great facility, by the way, and there's great covering from Matthew Karamalevsky ahead of Ayuk Mo. Now, it's pretty composed as well. Didn't just clear it under pressure, but there's a win high up the park from Sydney. Ayuk Mo, he's got to sprint again. Decent ball in, but Jack Cheney, sorry, I've absolutely butchered his name. I'm so sorry, Jack. Jack Kenny. Oh dear, it's going to be a long. Could be a long night for anyone that has to listen to what I'm saying tonight. But yes, Jack Kenny, safe hands, and he got his body behind it as well. I mean, that's what goalkeeping coaches teach, but especially important in tonight's wet conditions. Now, I was thinking of, because I was shouting at fixtures, and there's just a random group of local runners in front of the stand. Anyway, here's a runner. That's Tiago Quintal. And, I think well done to Matthew Karamalevsky, who's gotten a call as well, because that looked dangerous for Tiago Quintal, who's quite the attacking threat when Sydney FC get him good service, and then Karamalevsky timed that sliding tackle to perfection, and he's got the call from Adrian Art to go his way as well. There's a group of, it's one of them local running groups that just happened to run in front of the Pence's Park stand, and I suspect that won't be the last time we see them. Well, that's something a little bit different. Now, Costa Petratus held it up well for Paolo Mitri. Crosses deep to the far post. The wind's going the wrong way, as far as Paul, Justin, and myself are concerned. It's blowing rain slightly into our faces. Would rather it blow the other way, please. or no wind at all, so it goes straight down. But, yes. Yeah, because I just realized, thanks, Justin, if it blew the other way, then it's just going to annoy the coaches. And you don't want that, surely, no. Justin Davies having to get quotes from both coaches post-game. Anyway, Costa Petratus on the chase. He's another former A-League Academy player, spent time with the academies of both Central Coast Mariners and Newcastle Jets. Now he's with St George City, doing a good job of leading the line so far tonight. Ooh, actually, we're going to see those runners quite a bit. Their circuit is shorter than I thought it was. Anyway, here's Urchan, and he's bundled off the ball, and honestly, that challenge was as subtle as some of my jokes, and that's going to be a St George City free kick. Urchan, yeah, Urchan's a tough customer. He'll be fine. Time to see, long way out, but right of center, so it favors the left footer. Mason Hartnett being very particular with the way he wants that ball. That's what I've got binoculars for. That is, no, I think it's just 3, actually. And Adrian Art also being particular with where the ball is being placed. So we got Palamitri, tonight's goal scorer, as one of the options. And it looks like Kamada is the other one. So will it be right foot or left foot? There's the signal. Kamada delivers up and over, and the runner at the far post was Joshua Hong. Mason Hartnett judged it to perfection. Was able to catch the ball. By the way, Justin, you've been very helpful sending me screenshots of the lineup. Does your dribble not have photos? Oh, mine does. Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. So, also, well, Justin speculating it might have been the connection. Well, that means that's got to be the first time in history I've had a better mobile connection than someone. Anyway. And there's Matthew Karamalevsky stopping that Sydney FC connection. That's great step up out from the back. And I think he wanted to go on with it, but he didn't like what was in front of him. And they were going to try possession play, but it's been given straight back to Sydney. And maybe the moisture on the surface. I think that was a little bit of a slip from Thiago Quintal just as he was going to try and put a move on to beat the defender. It will be a Sydney FC throw, though. St. George City see that passage out very well. And games coming up on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. I mean, I mentioned the game 4:30 on Saturday, Sutherland versus Rockdale. There's also a game 6:30 p.m. on Saturday. Now, that's a big occasion because it's the opening of Barton Park, St. George FC's new home ground. St. George FC in NPL Men's New South Wales will be facing Sydney Olympic. And it's a big one. They've actually made that a women's and men's doubleheader. So, no, the women's game for League One Women's won't be streamed, but, I mean, League One Women's, the real ones know it's the greatest league in the world. And at 3 p.m., that's it. At Barton Park, St. George FC versus Sutherland Strikers in League One Women's. So you could say that's a derby, and if you're a big St. George fan, get down to see one or both of those games. Now, Sydney into the box, and there's a shot, and it's safe hands. Very sticky gloves from Jack Kenny. He actually was positioned very well. Also, didn't need to dive. Was just able to stand there and stop that ball with his gloves. Mitri and Costa Petrados waits for the overlapping run from Kamada. That's another great ball, and there's Dominic Cox making the late run. Like he got some contact on it, but just out of reach for Cox to make a telling connection. Oh, look at those local runners. Those clothes are going straight in the laundry when they get home. Better than me. Now, Palamitri one-on-one, and now looking to feed Costa Petrados, and the pass had too much weight on it. Yes, flick on from Noah Matthew. It's easy enough for St. George City. Back to Kenny. He goes for distance. Matthew, well, I thought he was going to get another play on it. He's just going to let it run over the sideline. Clarkson really dug one out. Actually, that's good technique just to work that ball when he was facing us in the stand back towards the centre. It was defended by Sydney, and now it's a decent turn. So, well, Adrian Art ruling no advantage. So we'll have another Sydney set piece from a little bit deeper than the last one. Also, shout out to Lockie, who in a group chat, he noticed I said one of the Middletons when I was struggling to tell the difference between Lachlan and Jared. And then in a group chat, he sent me a photo of Chloe Middleton. So, long-time Illawarra Stingray. Thanks for that. That is, of course, who I think of when I see that surname. So, anyway, here's the set piece. Good header. It's a good distance on that as well. I think that was Dominic Cox. He was on body weight going backwards, and he sent that ball at least 20 yards with his head. Great work there, but it's Sydney in the box. And that is a touch. That's going to be the corner. First corner of the game going to Sydney. Outswinger. I think that's Quintal over there. And he goes flat. Too flat for any of his teammates to make a play at it. By the way, so I mentioned Chloe Middleton, so this is as good as you're going to get for a segue to an NPL women's game that's been postponed, I believe. So it's meant to be a game scheduled between Illawarra Stingrays and Football New South Wales Institute on Sunday, 5th of May. But in case there was anyone looking forward to that, I think I saw that in the latest NPL women's review. That one has been postponed. I think, well, the weather, if you've seen the weather forecast, and if you are familiar with the grounds there down on the south coast, they do get closed fairly quickly when there's rain. Now, St. George City could be causing a little bit of havoc there, and now Kamada trying to get the touch round the defender. That's well done. And had to get that spot on as well because he was inside the area. Ayuk Mo holding up against 2 or 3. Josh Hong winning it back for St. George City. And Kamada. I like the way St. George City have controlled the game so far as we're in the opening. I don't know why I'm looking at the scoreboard. I should just look at my iPhone stopwatch. That's a lot easier. Almost half an hour here. They've been far. St. George City have raised the tempo if they've seen a chance, but they've especially, and of course this is easier when you score an early goal, as Palamitri has done, but they're not rushing things, St. George City. So it's like the good variation of the tempo from the team in red. There. Normally I say home side or away side. This fixture is really messing me up if St. George City are the listed away team at Penshurst Park. Anyway. Mitri bounces it back, saw the pressure coming. Hong trying the longer pass, and will we see some shepherding? Actually, not really. But past the half-hour mark here at Penshurst Park, Sydney FC 0, St. George City 1, and that goal coming in the 6th minute from Paolo Mitri. Now that's, well, it's going to be another card. So Tiago Quintal is going to be booked in the 32nd minute, Justin. So 2 yellow cards to Sydney, none to St. George City as of yet. I think some, I should call a clumsy one on today's goal scorer, Paolo Mitri. But Mitri did have room to run into, and we've already seen what he can do. So yes, perhaps the decision there more of like a foul might be seen as breaking up a promising attacking opportunity, and that's why we saw the slice of cheese from Adrian Art. Clarkson goes across the field. Now it's dug out, and well, it's a little fumble. Of course, there's a higher chance of that in the wet conditions, but Mason Hartnegg didn't push it too far in front of him, and he was able to grab it before any St. George City player had a chance for a tap-in. Then Famoda Kamada being directed back to where Adrian Art wants the throw in to be taken. Also, to complete my thought on streams, Football New South Wales YouTube streams you can watch on Saturday. So NPL women's action from the Arctic Circle, 3 p.m. Saturday, 4th of May. It's Northwest Sydney Spirit versus Ashley Crofts, the Queen of Blacktown, and the gang from RPL Leichhardt. And that'll be called by Annabelle Banfield. A great new addition to the commentary team this year, Annabelle. She's done some great games. I do believe she's got the match of the round as well in women's as well. So she's certainly been getting noticed by those who made such decisions. Well done to you, Annabelle. Of course, the Saturday game fits in with Annabelle's duties as an Interlions under-20 player. So when she's not calling games, she's playing in them. And anyway, now there's the pass one to Chase, and it just ended up behind Quintal, but Hong had to be quick so as not to let Ayuk Mo in with a one-on-one chance. Williams. Now they work it to the far side. Costa Petratos the furthest forward for City as they look to press. There's the ball, and no City players are going to catch up to that one. Oh, I've read my notes wrong. I haven't done all the Saturday streams. There's still 3 more to go. Oh, well. More segues. More tangents. And a Sydney corner. That'd be their second corner of the game. Here's the delivery from Quintal. Going towards the center of the goal. Not sure who the touch was off. Sydney, they saw the touch was off City, so they'll keep it alive. Now, doesn't look like they have a long throw expert here, so they bounce it with each other. And it's good organization from City to force a couple of backwards passes. Now, they've got to be quick. Good pressing there from Costa Petratos. Dylan Rose able to step around it, though. St. George City settling for the throw near their own corner flag. Throwing down the line and a flick on. It works out for Sydney. Ike Moe starts to drop a little bit deeper. Williams goes across to another defender. Now, right in front of the technical areas, and the 4th official. Don't want to jinx Paul Machika, but it seems to have been a fairly peaceful outing so far. For today's 4th official, it's not always the case, of course. But yes, and there's a City free kick. By the way, just as I very gradually run through the weekend streams, yes. Saturday, 7 p.m. from Landon Stadium, Blacktown City versus Northwest Sydney Spirits. And you're in for a treat if you watch that one, because it's the People's Champion, Nicholas Kutniak, who'll be calling the action from Landon Stadium. Mo tries to thread the through ball, and is the overlapping run. That was Noah Matthew, but it was tracked by Kamada. Used his speed defensively that time. He saved his team's bacon. Now Matthew Karamalevsky, the run from centre back. Oh, that's unfortunate from a City perspective. Costa Petratos, they're caught offside. Well, that's going to be overhit. And Jack Kenny just happy to wait until he's pressured. And the pressure coming from Mole there. There's Jesse Forty. Dominic Cox. And Tarek Urchan. There's a sharp turn. Looking nice for City. And for Murder Kamada, I think, so just enough of a touch to take it away from the number 5. Hong keeps it alive, and the centre-back thought about running into the box. Now Kamada, and Mitri cannot catch up to that one. That's a good header from Kamada off the goal kick from Hartnett. Kamada again. And Cox beats the defender to that. Now, running opportunity for Costa Petratus. Chucks a step over. That's a great save from Hartnett. And the follow-up is put wide. That was the captain, Tarek Urchan. And in fact, that's a save. That must have been a save from Hartnett. So that's a double save from the Sydney shot stopper. He might have been even unsighted for the first effort from Petratus. He got up quickly, made a second wonderful save. St. George City's first corner of the evening. Delivery, it's flat. A real tester, but Sydney get the flick. I think that's 40 on the far side. It's boxed in. Did he win the free kick? There's the signal. It happened right in front of Lance Greenshields. St. George City attacking set piece. In swinger, and there's a flick, but it's over the crossbar. Now, generally the academy sides try to play out from the back, but maybe thinking of the conditions, Hartnett instead goes long. Middleton. Williams, and then, so I think it was Rose that almost coughed it up. Now Tyler Williams, and it's a nice cushion header from Joshua Hong. So Paolo Mitri it is, he keeps it in play. Aaron Block happy with that. That's a nice ball, and there's the covering defense, I think, from Kalisic. Brody Clarkson. He's got a good left-footed cross on him as well. Instead it goes to Mitri. That one took a touch off the defence. Then it's away. Now that's across. A little bit of room for Matthew. And now Ayuk Mo as the wind blows right into our faces. My notes are going to get wet. Well, what passes for my notes tonight. But Jack Kenny just gratefully falls on the ball. Oh dear. It looks to be swirling wind. Well, that's no fun for anyone, especially in the rain. As Hartnett is up. Claims that, head of Cox. Decent header from Quintal, and it's Clarkson working hard in the midfield to get it back for City. Now, that's good positioning there, but also equally good endeavour from Mitri to keep it alive for City. Clarkson, and then more anticipation there, and a little bit of a fancy back heel from Dylan Rose, the Sydney captain. Now, well, St. George City got good numbers back, and yes, it's snaffled up, I think, by Mohamed Khamis. Now Dominic Cox. Kamada. It's up and Hartnett thought about coming for that, but they kind of died on him. It didn't carry through like the Sydney keeper thought it would. And now that it's seen over the sideline by the Sky Blues. Oh dear. We're getting wet now. That's no good. Throw in one by Urchan. He nods it down to Middleton. Now Karlasic, and it's actually a good lunge there from Jesse Forte to prevent the ball down the line. Here's Karmas to his captain, Urchan, and then Matthew Karamalevsky. Very distinctive, not just for his height. And oh, that's a nice centre-back run as well. It's not the first time he's done that. Matthew, oh, well, there. Sorry, commentator's curse there is given away. Now Ayekmo, Karamalevsky. He, despite Sydney FC consternation in the stands, has not fouled anyone. So it's Joshua Hong with a run out of central defence this time. And now it breaks for Quintal. And Quintal scanning for options. Marin France. And France is stopped. I think that's Forte again with a nice tackle. I think that's a signal for a corner. Third Sydney FC corner as we head into first half stoppage time. Oh, is there going to be a signal from the fourth official with the board? Would I even be able to see it? No, okay, don't worry about it. Let's not worry about that. And here we go. Short corner this time. Look up, Justin. Now, if... Well, actually, I told him to look up and it was St. George City potentially trying to make the break, but Sydney FC have prevented their attacking set piece from turning into a counter at the other end. So I wasn't sure. Didn't see if there was a signal with the board from tonight's fourth official, Paul Machika. But that doesn't matter because it is half-time. There's the whistle from Adrian Art. It's a case of so far, so good for St. George City. They're leading Sydney FC by a goal to nil. The strike came in the 6th minute. A very nice strike into the bottom corner from Paolo Mitri. That's what separates the two sides as they scramble to get out of the rain and into the dressing sheds. This is Eric Subihano on the mic for the Football New South Wales YouTube page. We'll take a short break for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back for the second half. Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of NPL Men's New South Wales coverage on a Wednesday night from Penshurst Park. It's a round 8 catch-up game. The score is currently Sydney FC 0, St George City 1. Eric Sibiana here, and the rain looks to have eased off just in time for the second half to begin. I'm grateful, so is Justin Davies, and most of all, so is Paul, tonight's camera operator. Let's get ready for the second half. As usual, I'll do a brief scanning of the jerseys to see if there's been any subs made, but I do not think so. So, as Adrian Arndt blows the whistle for the second half to get underway, let's see if there is some kind of sky blue comeback, or if St George City will go back into the winner's circle. By the way, quick shout out to a fellow NPL New South Wales commentator who apparently is at least partially tuning in while enjoying some fine dining. Shout out to you, Will Gotsis, and thanks for your kind words about my first half commentary, but fine dining for Will Gotsis, well, really, it's what the Adonis deserves, isn't it? And I think Will should be in action this weekend, as there's a lot of shouting, and it ends up as a Sydney FC free kick. Yes, Will Gotsis. You'll hear his dulcet tones Sunday, 3 p.m, when he is at Adensa Park to call Sydney United 58 versus Western Sydney Wanderers. And actually, that's a bit of a dream team, because Dominic Creniti will be doing the report for that one as well. Wait, Dominic Creniti at Adensa Park? Surely not. Anyway. Man, if Dom gets any more games at Adensa Park, they'll start charging him rent. It's like me in the Arctic Circle. So perhaps, well, see, you know what, I'll just go through the starting lineups, at least for now, and then we'll see if any changes are made at halftime, but I'm pretty confident that there haven't been. So, yeah, for Sydney FC, in goal, number 30, Mason Hartnett. 3 at the back, number 3, Tyler Williams. Number 6, the captain, Dylan Rose. And number 14, Jared Middleton. There's 4 across midfield. On the right, number 2, Noah Matthew. On the left, number 4, Joseph Kalisic. In central midfield, number 22, Will Kennedy. And number 8, Lachlan Middleton. And 3 up front for Jimmy Van Buren's young side. Number 17, Ayuk Mo. Number 10, Thiago Quintal. And number 11, Marin France. Mo chases that. Back to Kenny. And Kenny sends it into opposition half. It's a good touch off the chest by Rose towards Jared Middleton. Now, Kalisic, nice turn. He's made some space. Mo with the shout. Kalisic trying to curl it towards into Mo's path, but that's seen out well by both the keeper and by Joshua Hong. And actually, speaking of, we'll stop this so we can just check on Joshua Hong, but he's up quickly, so I think we'll get back underway relatively shortly. In fact, that's actually a free kick to St George City. So here's their lineup. In goal, number 1, Jack Kenny. 3 across the back, number 88, Mohammed Kamis. Number 99, Matthew Karamalevsky. And number 3, Joshua Hong. Looks like 4 in midfield. On the right, number 19, Jesse Forty. On the left, number 5, Famoda Kamada. In central midfield, the captain, number 6, Tarek Erchan. And number 25, Brody Clarkson. And the 3 up front, it's furthest forward is number 11, Costa Petrados. I'll hold that thought, as it might be a break here for Sydney. And it's Quintal, wants it on his left foot. There's a toe in there. Mo shot blocked by Matthew Karamalevsky. Standing out both for the way he's played in central defence. He's been very good, and also because Matthew is rocking the short sleeves and gloves combination, which I love as a commentator, because it's something a bit different to help identify players. And some people say short sleeves and gloves don't make sense. I say the opposite. I mean, your extremities get colder first, so actually you should be putting gloves on before long sleeves. Anyway, that's my segue, as that is dealt with by Hong. Oh, by the way, just to complete that St George City lineup, number 11, Costa Petrados at centre forward. Just behind him, number 8, Dominic Cox, and tonight's goal scorer, or at least the only goal scorer so far, number 14, Paolo Mitri. That's zipped across the synthetic turf towards Kalisic. And curls one around the defender, but keeps it in. A half handball shout, and Marin France will get on. And he tried to cut inside. Adrian Arndt, the universal signal for got the ball. Some fans disagree, but none of those fans have the whistle, so on we go. Here's Jared Middleton. And actually, no, I'll probably do the reminder you of all in the benches, possibly closer to the hour mark, when coaches traditionally like to make subs. As there's the first time pass from Mitri, before there's a sky blue wall right in front of the technical areas. And on they go. Quintal. Now possibly, oh no, this is Quintal. He shoots and he scores. Thiago Quintal has found the equaliser for Sydney FC. Oh, my apologies, that's Marin France. It was Quintal with the assist. Marin France with a finish as delicious as a croissant right into the bottom corner. And it is Sydney FC 1, St George City 1. Oh. There's Thiago Quintal, a very Portuguese name. And then on to France. It's just like watching the men's Euro 2016 final. But more importantly, Sydney FC have found an equaliser. And Marin France, who had backed away to get space from the defender. And I believe he's a right footer, so that is a lovely finish with the left foot. Wow, the way I call that's going to sound awful in the highlights. Oh well. What's new? And for those of you that know your stuff, it should not be a surprise to see such an emphatic strike come out of France. Now, anyway, there could be some trouble here, and Hartnett had to be quick. Because it was, I'm not sure if that was even an underhit back pass or just a touch from St George City, but whatever. Hartnett, very quick to snuff out any kind of danger. There's the ball towards Marin France, I think. Now, Kalasic. Now, is Mitri? Well, that's something Costa Petratus won't catch up to. So anyway, well, should I restore this call back to normality? Not yet, because Will Gotsis was actually asking me what I had for dinner. Well, this is not what anyone tuned in to hear, but I had a work task that took longer than I anticipated. And yeah, my alleged dinner consists of a double chocolate cookie that I ate in the car, and some very cold chips generously provided to me by Paul, the camera operator. So, yeah, yes, Will, that's not up to my usual standard. I'm sorry. I also got here with less than 15 minutes until kickoff, so, well, one day I'll find something I'm good at. Time management, it's not one of those things. And Adrian Arndt, yes, he's quite pleased with something, but we're back underway. I think that was Clarkson with the left foot towards halfway, beyond halfway. Now Jared Middleton couldn't find Kalasic, so Jared Middleton decides for something a little bit less subtle, just to get it away from danger. Now, I think that's Tyler Williams. He finds Noel Matthew. Apologies if there's any misidentification. Just trying my best on the far side of the field, but there's the foot in there from Hong. And yes, given a shout out to most of the games coming up this weekend as Adrian Arndt again. Just making sure everything's as he wants it before the restart. Hong again with a defensive header. Now, Costa Petratus being target forward as Adrian Arndt quickly jumps out of the way. And then there's the closing down. And it might work out for Sydney. Ruled to be clean by Karamalevsky. Another tackle. The number 99 and breaking up another Sydney FC attack. Now, here's Mohamed Khamis. Now Dominic Cox. Jesse Foti the shouts, I think, for something more central, but he went backwards to Khamis. Cox, you can see what he was trying to do because there was some interesting space found by Paolo Mitri, who's still trying to find a pocket of space off the ball as City go to the left-hand side with Kamada. And Kamada gets it back off Urchan. Clarkson. Now, this could be a chance, and did that take a touch? Yeah, surely it did. You'd be almost impossible to get the ball to fly at that kind of trajectory without some kind of touch. So St. George City corner coming up. I think that's their second of the game. Yes. Well, by the way, yes. Yeah, we just saw Thiago Quintal head to the dressing sheds in front of me, and he's got out of the rain as quickly as possible. Don't blame him, but he's also set up a goal. As now trying to set up a goal here, this corner, and St. George City, there was a player free. It's back in, well, would have been back into the mixer, but there's a good block. So now, as Aikmo is under pressure from Karamalevsky, again he shows good composure, even under heavy pressure from an opponent. Plays the ball forward. Now I've got to find it. Yes, number 9. I think that's Bailey Callahan. Yes, Justin Davies confirms that for me. So Bailey Callahan on for Thiago Quintal. Let's see if that results in any kind of change to Sydney's attacking trident. So it does look like, yes, now that, because Quintal was the most central of the Sydney front three in the first half. Now, as Jesse Forti tries to make room, Urchan's cross snuffed out. Some tracking back, but yeah. And then, as Clarkson tries to keep it alive, that is up and away. Now, Karamalevsky heading it. A good header as well. Now, Mohamed Khamis. That's Costa Petrados. Jesse Forti. Decent cross. It's behind the player closest to the center of the box. Now Kamada is going to try and turn go, and he's not getting the call he wants. Yeah, back to my thought about Sydney's front three. Yes, I think Thiago Quintal was the most central of those three when he was on the field, but he's come on. Marin Francis now moved from the left to the center, and Bailey Callahan is out on the left for Sydney. Good to see Bailey Callahan on the field. More Irish surnames, the better. That's what I say. Yeah. Now that's an interesting clearance, guys. Well over that fence, and might be troubling someone's car. Actually, well, hasn't gone past the parked cars on that road, so we're actually okay. That wasn't as bad as it could have been. So I think whichever industrious St. George City volunteers to find that after the game won't be too difficult for them. Let's just hope no one steals that ball. Although those balls are very expensive, but I mean, who's going to be out and about in this weather? Let's be honest. Now we'll go on here. Even the local runners, they've given it up. And now City attack and stopped on the edge of the box. Middleton to Kalisic. Now, that is Callahan, the newly introduced player. Kalisic. Back to Middleton. Mo turn past one player, not another. And having said that, Sydney still have the ball. And that's well broken up there by City. For a moment, a little bit of panic. I thought I saw number 4 City's jersey. Hang on. And hey, here's a chance maybe for City. There's no number 4. That's still number 6, the captain, Tarek Ocha. That's a relief. Kalisic fires it forward. Nice header from Khamis. Now, 40. And could have been an awkward height for Clarkson, but he's done well to find Costa Petrados. And Costa Petrados strong enough to win that free kick. So yeah, at about the hour mark. Perhaps let's go through at least one set of subs there for Sydney. Bailey Callahan already on the pitch. The other possibilities, Jacob Brissett. We could see him a bit later. He's another attacking option. Also Pearson Kasawaya, Nicholas Alfaro, Munib Smajic, and the backup keeper Alexander Zabardinos. As Clarkson keeps it on the ground for 40. Two former Sutherland players linking up. Famoda Kamada, by the way, also a former Sutherland player. As Clarkson sends it high, Hartning's up, and Hartning catches. That St. George City bench, so yeah, Joseph Knowles, the backup keeper. Yeah, I'd expect to see, we're most likely to see Nathan Robertson, Jason Romero, possibly Lewis Khoury before too long. All three very good attacking options. Actually, Presley Ortiz, another good attacking option. And really, it's a nice aggressive bench that they've selected tonight. 4 attackers and just the one defender and the one keeper. The one defender being Cameron Fong, former Sydney FC Academy player, Cameron. Yes. Oh, Davies in my ear. St. George City double sub coming up. So, Robertson Romero. Triple. Ah, yes. That's what the binoculars are for. So, while Kalasic throws in, I can't watch the game while also looking at the binoculars. That's not really possible. But that's a strong tackle from Erchan. Despite Sydney FC fans disagreeing. And there's Sydney's number 4. Joseph Kalasic giving away a foul. So, a foul from Sydney's number 4, just like watching Tory Tumith, isn't it? Tory Tumith, one of the players you can watch, of course, because Sydney FC have made another A-League Women Grand Final, and Tory and the gang trying to do one on her old club, Melbourne City. That's Saturday, 4th of May, 4:15 p.m. at Amy Park, and I think that's on 10 Bold, 10 Play, and Paramount Plus as well. So, yes. I'll be looking forward to watching that one. There we go. That's my main KPI for tonight's commentary, as Justin Davies well knows. But hey, still not as blatant as the one I did in St. George FC versus Hills United. That is one of my favorites. Anyway, I'm not explaining that. Don't worry, you don't want to know. That's another foul as this St. George City double or triple sub. Yeah, I think I see 3 people out there. Gonna have to wait a bit because I tried with my binoculars, but the light from the scoreboard's actually kind of messing with the contrast. My very reckless speculation is it's going to be Jason Romero, Nathan Robertson, Lewis Khoury. Actually, is it going to be a quadruple sub? There's 4 people standing up. Yeah, there's 4 people standing up, Justin. Quadruple sub. Well. Oh, it's a reporter's worst nightmare. I'm loving this. I don't have to do any admin. I just got to keep talking nonsense. But yes. So yeah, just now my speculation is number 7 Nathan Roberts, number 10 Jason Romero, number 33 Lewis Khoury, and number 30 Presley Ortiz coming on. Now this could be a chance, and that's a great save with the feet from Hartning. St. George City corner. They even it up. The corner tally is equal just like the goals, and they're on with it. Short corner. Look up, Justin. And everyone back for Sydney FC in time. Matthew Karamalevsky. And that's a decent ball. And the flag's up. The flag's up. That's not going to count. Aaron Block has caught St. George City offside. And now, a quadruple sub. Yes. So I have to keep track of 8 players. 4 coming on, 4 coming off. Well, that's not happening. So just gradually. I think I see Famoda Kamada jogging. Yep, so that's 1. Number 3, Joshua Hong is coming off. Number 19, Jesse Forte coming off. And number 14, Paolo Mitri coming off. I've surprised myself with that. That's, I didn't expect to get all the 4 subbed off straight away. So, I'm wrong some way because Cameron Fong is one of the players coming on. Number 2, he looks to be on the right side of the St. George City formation, replacing Jesse Forte. That's 1 out of the 4 subs figured out. Will I figure out the other 3 before the end of the game? Maybe. Cameron Fong straight to the action, blocking across against his old side. Now, that's nice, and Kalasic with a wraparound run. Into the box he goes. Kalasic, and it was up for grabs for a minute there. I think it took some kind of St. George City touch. Here's Ayak Mo into the box. It's away by Matthew Karamilevsky in position yet again. And I must say, like the St. George City number 99, I think he's having a great game. I haven't seen a number 99 on the ball this much since the last time I watched an episode of Get Smart. That's one been in the works since this morning. Sydney FC free kick. It's up, and Kenny looks to be the favourite. And it is straightforward. Didn't even have to jump. Now that's played, I think, by Kennedy. And Kennedy gets it back from one of his teammates. Mo tried the flick. Karamilevsky in the way again. It's up, and the flag stays down. I think that's Callahan with France in support. Mo, quick over the first 5 meters, delivers the cross. And it's a good punch from Jack Kenny. That was a punch Katie Taylor would be proud of. Now, long-range shot, and Kenny saves. Good positioning, straight into the breadbasket, but in the wet conditions, easier said than done. Davies likes your joke, Lockie. Anyway. Cameron Fong. Now that's Jason Romero off the bench, but before he could really get going, it was Jared Middleton with the covering. So now I've established 2 of the 4 players to come on from that St. George City double substitution. Oh, I think that's Presley Ortiz also on, number 30. And that's number 33, Lewis Curry. Okay, so those are the 4. Now, ooh, that was tantalizing on the edge of the box, but no St. George City player in that space. And France, well, you're shepherded. That was being shielded by Urchan anyway. So midway through the second half, if you've just joined us, well, you're in luck because you've missed some really bad jokes. But this is Eric Civiano on the mic from very wet Penshurst Park. Sydney FC 1, St. George City 1. St. George City opened the scoring after 6 minutes via Palamitri, and the equaliser came early in the second half for Sydney FC from Marin, France. I think that's Ortiz back to goal with the target forward work. Yes, well, we're getting some work tonight because that's a Sydney double sub, which would be their second and third subs of the evening. Is that Pearson Kasawaya? I don't know. Ayuk Mo is leaving, and am I good enough with the binoculars? No, I'm not. Helps if did look down the wrong end of them. That's not going to help. Okay, well, please. Hey. There's the signal. Cameron Fong gets us back underway. Back to a skipper, Urchan. Romero. They doubled up him. They almost tripled up at him. They know Sydney know the threat. Clarkson. Now his delivery, and this could be the header. It's in. It's in. St. George City back in front. There's a lovely ball into the box. Presley Ortiz. That's what you want centre forwards to do. Found the space between defenders. And he has put his side back in front. Just over 20 minutes remaining. Certainly a nice time to score for St. George City. It's another Presley Ortiz goal. And yes, good resilience. Good resilience from City. Easy to kind of let yourself get rattled after conceding the equaliser that they did. But they've stuck to the task, and they're back in front. Now, I think number 13, Jacob Brissett. Oh, sorry, apologies, Justin is typing. I should probably do my own work out. So I saw a 13 and a 16. So number 16 on the ball, Pearson Kasawai. He's one of the newly introduced players by Sydney coach Jimmy Van Vuren. And I think number 13, Jacob Brissett, is the other one. As Callahan takes a tumble, Adrian Ard plays advantage. Matthew up into the sky. And there's the header, but that will go wide. So it looks like, what do you think, Kasawai replaced Kalasic? This looks like it, if he's on the left side of the Sydney formation. And then, yeah, Jacob Brissett replacing Aikmo in Sydney's attack, as they are now chasing the game. Jack Kenny, of course, almost getting to game management time, so perhaps these St. George City goal kicks, set pieces, dead ball situations, etc. might take a little longer, as that clearance is slammed into the person who is, for now, the City hero, Presley Ortiz. Romero looking to create. Ortiz couldn't get onto that. Now it's Kasawaya. He's closed down by Fong. Sydney throw. By the way, games coming up. Which ones haven't I said yet? Oh, yeah. Saturday, 7 p.m. from the Palace, Marconi Stadium. It's Marconi Stallions versus Hills United, called by Dominic Creniti. Yeah, that'll be a good call there. Saturday, 7 p.m. And then Saturday, 7:15 p.m. here at Penshurst Park. St. George City hosts the Kings of the Northern Beaches, Manly United. And I believe, not sure, the report, which you will be seeing on the NPL New South Wales Facebook page. Later that night, it'll be written by someone named Justin. Not sure which one yet. Then also, what game haven't I shouted at? Oh, Sunday at 3 p.m. from Albert Butler Memorial Park, Wollongong Wolves versus Central Coast Mariners. And then this is a late change, so perhaps this might be the first time some of you hear about this, but Sunday, 5:30 p.m., Sydney FC Academy versus RPL Leichhardt from the Illington Sports Centre. And speaking of writing talent, the reporter for that game is someone as young as some of these Sydney FC players, Jack George. Still a teenager, but in his third year writing for Football New South Wales. Well, that makes me feel very, very old. And if I feel old, that means the rest of you have to feel old as well. And I think that was originally scheduled for Lambert Park, but Lambert Park not quite finished, although it's the new synthetic surface very close to finished as the Sydney FC physio comes on. So they've done a little home game swap, so well done to everyone for making that possible. And I think that was originally scheduled for Saturday as well, so extra day of rest coming up for Sydney FC now as a result. Of course, quick turnaround after they're playing this one. Apologies, did you see you went down, Justin? Okay, well, binoculars aren't going to be useful because I can't see a shirt number anyway. I mean, there's not too much concern for the people surrounding them, so I think hopefully this is more precautionary than anything from that physio. But yes, might as well go through the NPL women's games that I haven't mentioned. Oh, by the way, because Justin Smith, League One men's reporter, wanted me to shout at this one. So the League One men's match of the round from the second tier, that's a big one. Saturday, 7 p.m, Bankstown City versus Bonnyrigg White Eagles from Jensen Park, home of some very lovely Chavapi. And that is going to be called by Bo Clements. And I love it that Bo Clements is part of the team because Yeah, if you remember Blackham City Games pre-COVID, when the child was doing ground announcing, yep, that was Bo Clements, and he's now a Football New South Wales commentator. So I think that Sydney FC play will be on soon enough, but Sydney, for now, well, have to play with 10. Having said that, play away back on. So basically they went the other side and won a free kick. So being down a player for 10 seconds didn't hurt Sydney FC at all. Kasawaya looks to be tasked with the dead ball as we head into the final 15 minutes. Sydney FC hunting what would be their second equaliser of tonight's game. There's the signal. One in the wall. It's over the wall. Good area. And it was off Callahan, I think. But he couldn't direct. Bailey Callahan couldn't direct the header goalwards. By the way, might as well complete the set. NPL Women's action coming up. I've already talked about Spirit versus RP on Saturday at 3 p.m. called by Annabelle Banfield from the Arctic Circle. Guess what? Well, assuming there's no changes to the roster, Annabelle's backing up on the Sunday, and she's going from one cold venue to another, from the Arctic Circle to Northbridge Oval, Sunday 4:40 p.m. to call Bulls FC Academy versus Emerging Jets. Then the other 5 NPL women's games for this weekend, they're all at 5 p.m. on Sunday. If for some reason you like my commentary, tune in to the one at Cromer Park, because I'll be calling the game involving the NPL Women's New South Wales League leaders, Manly United. They're hosting Gladesville Ravens. And Manly United, look, actually a fun fact, they won all 6 games in Senior Women's and Girls Youth League at home against Gladesville Ravens last year, so they'll be trying to do it again. And I'll be on the mic there from Cromer Park, Sunday 5 p.m. The other women's games on Sunday at 5 p.m, Sydney Olympic versus MacArthur Rams from Petermore Field, called by Dublin Dave, Ireland's own David Feeney. I've mentioned that, oh actually no, there's only 4 games at 5 p.m, my apologies, because Illawarra Stingrays versus Football New South Wales Institute has been postponed. There's also Blacktown Spartans versus Northern Tigers from the ground with the shipping container, Blacktown Football Park. And I like this one. It's the first ever NPL Women's Battle of the Students from the Village Green, University of New South Wales versus Sydney Uni. I suppose it's kind of a derby, and derbies tend to be heated, the tackles tend to fly in, so at University of New South Wales versus Sydney Uni, I hope whoever the ref assigned for that game is prepared to dish out a few lectures. Yes. Well, here's that time of the game. Of course, Sydney FC have the turnaround after Friday night action at the Illingdon Sports Centre when they played Sydney United 58. So, yes, it's another stoppage. And, of course, St George City, they're leading 2-1. Won't mind this one. Won't mind this chance to take a breather and perhaps get maybe some instructions from the coaching staff or just regroup mentally. But yes, if you have missed any of the action, of course, it's YouTube, so you could just go back in the stream and watch that. But yes, tonight's scoring was opened in the 6th minute by Paolo Mitri. Nice strike from the edge of the box with his left foot. In the early stages of the second half, Sydney FC equalised through Marin France, and also great work in the assist with the assist for that France goal from Thiago Quintal to make it 1-1. By the way, just for those of you who have noticed that Thiago Quintal, quite an exotic name, wonder where he's from. Some less exotic than you think, because Thiago Quintal's from Borkham Hills. Anyway, and St George City, Davies liked that one, and the reason St George City are back in front, a goal with about 20 minutes to go from Presley Ortiz. He was the impact player off the bench, and for now, he is the match winner. Sydney free kick. And the wind is now blowing in the direction we don't want. Oh, well, I wasn't looking at my notes anyway, so time to chuck them in the bag. There's a discussion coming up between Lance Greenshields and Adrian Arndt. There's a card coming up. Well, apologies, didn't expect a card to come out. That might be some more post-game investigative work for Justin Davies there. Just cleared away. St. George City, there's players amongst them insistent that they step up. It's way too early to park the bus and sit back. I've already seen what Sydney can do. That move for the Marin France goal was very nice. And St. George City trying to make sure they don't do that again. They're right in front of the Souvlaki Boys advertising board. I assume they also provide the Souvlaki for the canteen. Recommendation, Justin? Yep, absolutely. That's good. That ties in with what I heard from other people. Next time I come here, I'll try and arrive with more than 10 minutes till kickoff so I can have one. So throw in for Sydney, and they have not managed to gain any territory. Oh, there was more. There was one more game stream weekend coming up this weekend that I haven't spoken about. Yes. Favorite league, Justin. The League One Women's Match of the Round this weekend, Sunday 3 p.m. from the new synthetic fields, the fields behind the Palace, or behind the stadium at Marconi Stadium. It's Marconi Stallions versus Mount Druitt Town Rangers, and that is called by another new commentator and a top quality commentator, Melissa Muscat. Up and forward, but Urchan used his body well. However, still gets to France. Marin France, they double up on the Sydney goal scorer. He gets it onto his right foot, and there's the defensive header. Sydney are doing their best to make something of it, and they have kept it alive. And that's Matthew. And Matthew cannot find a teammate. City stand firm. Win inside opposition territory by Sydney. And well into the final 10 minutes, but that could have been an interesting one. Oh, my bad. Kalasic is still on the field. I just saw him. Oh, no. And number 4 playing at centre-back for Sydney FC. Oh, no. There's still time for terrible references. The real ones know what I'm talking about. And that, well, no room right in front of the technical areas, right in front of the 4th official, Paul Macheka. So back the keeper that goes. The Sydney, well, it's not quite kitchen sink time, but it's not far away from it either. Wonder if there's any kind of change in game plan for the end stages that Jimmy Van Vieren has in mind. It's the overlapping run for Kasawaya, but the ball turned back right, and then City with good defending once more. Ortiz giving a good chase of things, and it's kind of affected Sydney's attempts to play out from the back. Sydney still have it, but now St. George City right in their faces. That's another little win for City. Back to the keeper. Now Kasawaya. Callahan. It was hard enough when you're shielded by one defender. He was actually shielded by 2 that time. That was always going to be Jack Kenny's. Kalasic, good header. Now Matthew is just giving it straight to Costa Petranos. Dominic Cox. Now Cameron Fong. Ortiz tried round the corner, but Petranos wasn't quite as close as he was expecting. Mason Hartnett takes over. It's not what Sydney FC needs as the clock begins to run down. And Jack Kenny, yep, definitely that time of the game, just traps it right in front of the goal line. Good game management, that is. as many seconds down the clock as possible. Very good distance on that kick from Kenny, right to the edge of the opposition box. There's a flick on from Costa Petratos, but nothing his teammates could take advantage of. Petratos, sharp turn. Tried to get past one defender, then the second player came. That was Lachlan Middleton, I think. It skips away from France. In fact, I think the call was for offside. Yeah, sure I heard a whistle. Yep, so we'll try again. I'll restart it from the spot of the offside. Well, to be fair, you've been saying the recent minutes, not too much to trouble the City shot stopper, Jack Kenny. He was about to play this one long. And touch, actually, handball. So that'll be Sydney FC's. And yes, in the 87th minute, well, because of that very nice Presley Ortiz headed goal, which put St. George City 2-up. At the moment, it's looking like Heartbreak Hotel for Sydney FC, but they still have just enough time to change it. Casawaya's battling away for possession. Now, Lachlan Middleton. Petratos blocks the ball forward from Galicic. Casawaya. Touch off the chest, but then Romero pressures. I think that's in fact Urchan helping out his defenders by dropping back. And that, Major Knight's happy to go on with it. A little bit of room for Sydney here, but only a little bit, and then the pass behind the player. More time runs down. St. George City inching towards going back into the winner's circle and extending their excellent record at Penshurst Park. In fact, trying to think of it, I don't think they've dropped too many points here at Penshurst Park this season. I do know Blacktown City won when they came here, but St. George City usually good here at Penshurst. And one of those coincidences, because Blacktown City, the team they call the Pride of Western Sydney, also knocked St. George City out of the cup as well. So it's the quirk of the fixture list when two teams play each other in a short space of time. I think shouting from both sides. Referee happy to continue. Casawaya, space for Lachlan Middleton. Not enough space to play that pass. Jason Romero got in the way. Of course, for your forwards, of course, they want to score a goal in this situation. So, they'd love to score another goal, St. George City, but defending from the front, just as important. The touch works out for the Sky Blues. Now, keep it in right in front of Lance Greenshields. And it's a throw-in. Is there a long throw specialist coming up? No. Sydney just want to keep the tempo high. It's back. And then the City attackers really collapse the space. Everyone behind the ball. And that's what Sydney FC are faced with as they hunt what would be a dramatic equaliser. We're into the 90th minute now. Galicic. Casawaya. Casawaya up against two, but he's won the throw-in. Casawaya It doesn't look like they've got their own version of Megan Campbell, Sydney FC. No long throws to speak of, or no long throw experts, but they work it short, and it almost broke for France. With a nice first time pass around the corner, but it was cleared. Jared Middleton. Does that mean Tyler Williams came off for Pearson Kasawaya, Justin? No. That's my guess, yeah. You know. But figuring out who came on for who, that's a Justin problem, not a me problem. I've got my own problems. Anyway, is Jason Romero. And he ruled to be just inside his own half. Quick enough to get all the way into the box. And Romero, that's an excellent save by Hartnig. Got the positioning spot on. Stayed big as long as he could. And what could be another chance. He cuts it back. And that's in. That is in from Costa Petranos. And that seals, or looks to seal, the 3 points for St. George City as we head into stoppage time. Lovely work in the build-up from Jason Romero. He's known for scoring. This time it was the cutback. Costa Petranos made no mistake. It's another nice left-footed strike. It is now Sydney FC 1, St. George City 3. Does look like as some hardy souls who've done well to stick with it through tonight's action, even with sometimes drizzle falling in their faces. St. George City looked to have moved back into the winner's circle, was defeat last time around out against Hills United. By the way, what a story that is, Hills United. In 2016, in the third tier of New South Wales men's football, as Justin Davies remembers very well. And from the third tier to the top tier, in only 8 years for Hills United, and the men of the Hills certainly do it, making a good job of it. Good times for Hills United recently. Their women's team also going very well. They're top of the table in League One women's and undefeated. But when your goalkeeper is the clean sheet Queen Sarah Easthope, well, I suppose that's to be expected. Justin Davies packs up his laptop, so any notes from now on have to be done on the phone. Good luck with that in the rain, Justin, but we'll go on. Kasawaya. Yes, but it depends on how reliable I am, though. As we've seen tonight, into the third minute of time added on. And, yes. It's really just a matter of seeing it out, taking those 3 points. This would be St. George City's 6th win of the season. That's just a booming kick from Dom Cox. No nonsense. That's really what the situation requires for St. George City. They're still defending well. Clarkson's in there strong. The former Wanderers Academy player going in tough against Sydney FC. There's a run out from the back. Quick ball forward. There's, I think, Cameron Fong in the way. Kalasic attempting to switch the point of attack. France tried to keep it alive and then played it to a space where none of his teammates were. We'll go on into the 4th minute of time added on. Kasawaya, quick feed, and then, well, that's the heavy touch there from a teammate. They're almost there. St. George City, they do have a quick turnaround because they play Manly United on this very patch of synthetic turf in 3 days' time. That's also a 7:15 p.m. kickoff. And by the way, Manly United hitting some form. They've coming off victories in their last 2 games against Southern Sharks and Northwest Sydney Spirit. St. George City versus Manly United here, Saturday 7:15 p.m. and that will be another good game. And of course, you can watch that as well as all the other ones here on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. But there's the full-time whistle, and St. George City have defeated Sydney FC by 3-1, and they're up to a tally of 20 points for the season. That's their 6th win in 2024. Paolo Mitru opened the scoring for City in the 6th minute with a nice strike from the edge of the box. Sydney FC equalised just after half-time through Marin France, and there was also good work from Thiago Quintal in the build-up. But with 20 minutes to go, it was what proved to be the winner, and it came from the substitute Presley Ortiz, who had the Sydney defence all shook up, escaped their attention and headed it out of the reach of the keeper. Costa Petradas put the cherry on the Sunday in stoppage time with a goal set up by Jason Romero, and that's how we got to the final score of Sydney FC 1, St George City 3. One last plug of the NPL men's games coming up this weekend. Saturday 4:30 p.m. Sutherland Sharks versus Rockdale Illingdon. Saturday 6:30 p.m. St George FC versus Sydney Olympic. 2 games Saturday 7 p.m. Blacktown City versus Northwest Sydney Spirit, and Marconi Stallions versus Hills United. Saturday 7:15 p.m. St George City versus Manly United. 2 men's games Sunday at 3 p.m. Sydney United 58 versus Western Sydney Wanderers, and Wollongong Wolves versus Central Coast Mariners. And the final game of the round, Sunday 5:30 p.m. Sydney FC versus RPL Leichhardt. There's also the League One men's match of the round, Saturday 7 p.m. Bankstown City versus Bonnyrigg White Eagles. But for now, this is Eric Subihano signing off. Thanks for supporting NPL Men's New South Wales. Thanks for tuning in on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Wishing you plenty of good vibes, great coffee, sick tattoos, razzlers, and may the rain not bother your sporting teams. See you next time.